Hello and welcome, my name's Sam and this is The Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today and thank you for joining me for our third and final card in this week's stamp set of the week, Adventurous Skies. And as it's Friday, we are also doing our Sketch Friday. So in the annual catalogue, for those of you who haven't seen what we do on a Friday, we are now on Sketch 8 on page 22 of the annual catalogue. So let me bring this up to the camera and hope it focuses itself. Come on. Go on, you know you want to. There we go. Page that we are number 8. So it's one with all the boxes and a little sentiment across the top. Okay, so this is my version of the card. I did come up with 2 other versions, so I'll quickly show you those. But this is the one we're going to focus on today. So the other ones are these 2. So as you can see, this one literally is just 9 squares, or rectangles should I say, of DSP and 3 little planes. And over here we've got 12 boxes of designer series paper, all cut down to 1-inch squares. Right, but as I say, this is the one we are going to focus on, and this is mainly around our designer series paper. So this particular suite actually does come with a sheets designer series paper. It is called Take to the Skies. They come in 12 by 12 sheets. You get 2 of each one. So as you can see, I've already used the top of this one. So this is the one that actually faces. This sheet is the actual sheet that is focused on in this particular card that we've done. So we've got that sheet, then they've come, oh, sorry, let me show you the other side, I do apologise. So you've got, I suppose it's the contours of the earth or the ground. Then we've got clouds, and on the other side they've got grey squares. We've got this lovely piece of paper with, I suppose they're designs of aeroplanes on them. I like that. And on the back of that you've got almost got like a brick kind of layout on there. Then we have, let's turn it around so you can actually see it. We've got the world map, or part of the world map. Got a little ship here in the middle, and a few down here. So they're quite, I mean, I quite like that. That seems quite nice. I think you'd have to work out which ways you were going to cut them so you've got the best angles of the map. Oh, sorry, and on that one is just blue. Then we've got a, I suppose, a slightly upgraded version of the green page I showed you earlier, with a lot more aeroplanes on it. Quite like that one as well. And that's got a nice brown check on the back. And then they've got this page which comes with lots of different squares that you can cut down and use as you wish. So you've got this one here of just an aeroplane, design drawing of an aeroplane, the plaid, clouds, the world, and then at the bottom you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tags, so you could cut those out and use those as tags should you wish to, and decorate them as you please. And then on the other side you have got another form of the map. She says showing it to you upside down, I do apologise. And then you can see all these little aeroplanes flying around the world, which is a bit of fun. Anyway, I have decided today to use this piece of designer series paper for our card. So the rest of our supplies are, so this is smoky slate measuring 8 by 5 3/4, folded at the 4-inch mark. I have a piece of white, basic white, that is 3.5 by 5.5. My piece of designer series paper is 3 inches by 3 inches, and I have a piece of Night of Navy. This measures 3 3/4 by 1 1/4 inches. Then I've got a piece of not whisper white, basic white, which measures 1 inch by 3 1/2. That is for the sentiment. And then I took a piece of Night of Navy and cut myself 3, 6, 9 squares, each measuring 1 1/4 inches. Okay, I figured you didn't probably need to see me cut all of those. So that is our card for today's supplies. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the stamping out of the way. So the inside card, I'm actually going to stamp this little aeroplane, bottom right hand corner, and I'm going to do it in the pedal path. So we can afford to take the stamp to the ink on this one because it's not so large. There we go. That will go there. Okay, so that will go inside our card when we're ready. Let's just wipe that down so I don't get ink everywhere. And then I've got the happy birthday sentiment from this sweetly scripted stamp set. So I'm going to take my piece of white cardstock. There we are. I'm going to tap my pad, ink pad, all the way across. And then that can go. Oh, couldn't tell you why Boots is barking this morning. She is, her and Bella have just decided today is the day for barking. The merest thing. The squirrel went past the window this morning, and that was an outrageous thing for a squirrel to have done. I suppose he was on the way to nick the dicky bird's nuts, so there we are. That will go onto there. I'm just going to use my stamp and seal. There we go. I suppose it wouldn't be a little greenhouse video without having the howlings of the dog. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our designer series paper and we're going to cut it into 3 1 inch strips. So let's go. So I'm going to put that to the right, and then I'm going to cut that one in half. So then I've got the first, the second, and the third piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first piece and cut that into 1 inch squares. So the top bit goes on the bottom pile, or the bottom of the pile. So that's, oops, she says dropping it. Oh look, see, this is the thing. I'll worry about that in a minute. So if you've got a piece of paper that is less fiddly, it's quite easy to do. It's going to be like a jigsaw puzzle trying to put it all back together again, really, isn't it? So if you like jigsaw puzzles, this probably is the card for you to create. These can now get layered onto my white, my Night of Navy card set. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3. Probably done this the wrong way around now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the bottom went on last, didn't it? 2, 3. I probably just need to move those two, I think. Right, so now what you can do is you can stick them down with your multi-purpose glue. So there we go. So this should work with any of the designer series papers that, you know, if you found a piece of paper that you think, do you know, that's just too good to cover up, this could be a way of getting around it. Making it look so pretty. I wonder if I turned that. That's it. Look at that. See, I told you. Oh, she says. I told you it was a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, didn't I? There we go. So that bit matches up with that bit there. And you can pop that on. And I can work. Okay, not sure about that bit. Let's try this bit and see what happens. I think the problem with this is that some of them can actually be upside down because that's the way they've been printed. Yeah. So let's put that one on there. And I'm thinking, so the reason I'm using the glue is so that it's got the wriggle room. There we go. And you can move your designer series paper around as much as you need to until you're happy with where it's located. So look, that's about right there. No, that's better. Yeah, so that bit matches that bit matches that bit, which makes that bit match that bit. That is the tail end of that. Look at that. Hey! There we are. As I say, it's probably best to keep them in the rows so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to move it around so that it matches up. That's going to be there, isn't it? Yep. At least you know it's in the right location. If you cut it in strips, you've just got to work out which way around it's going to go. Ooh. So I've got a new, we're still doing our weekly videos next week, but it won't be a stamp set of the week. It will be something different. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I haven't done it before. Well, I have, but not for many years. So it would be interesting to see how it comes out. I think that works. Or is it? No, it's definitely that way. Or is it that way? I think it is that way because I think that picks up from there. There we go. Right. So when we finish, that piece will go in between, like so. So now to do is to layer them onto our cardstock. I'm just going to move them over to the left of my screen. just so that I can bring my page up. I'm just going to burnish that a bit more so it lays totally flat. Now one of the cards, so these ones are going to be glued down, but one of the cards I showed you earlier, this one, so each one of these squares is raised up on a dimensional, so that makes it interesting. But these are all laid flat, and of course these are all laid flat, but then they've got the 3 pair of planes that are raised up. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly lay them down where I want them to go, and I can work out. Now the design on page 22 of the catalogue, actually, grab that catalogue back and I can show you what I mean. So it actually says that the sentiment, if I can get it to come, there we go, the sentiment here should be going straight across here on the second and first and second row. Obviously that's what I did with my original card, but you could, if you wanted to, just have it at the top and then have everything layered with flow. Let's try that. Let's see how we do. So if that goes in the middle there, and then we can bring our layers up. Now, excuse me, it's quite a tight fit on the sides, so a little bit of jiggery pokery is needed, really. But you can always, as long as you line up everything with the square above, you should be fairly fine, she says. What I might do is with this, raise that one up on dimensionals and then just stick these flat down. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm happy with that, and then I can bring them down a bit more. Okay, so we can start gluing. And by using the multi-purpose glue, you can wriggle it around until you're happy that it's straight. So I suppose you could say a steady hand is needed for this. And that can go in there. There we go. Right, oops. So from one design sketch, I've got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 different versions of it. So it's actually quite a, for me, quite a functional sketch to have, really, because it just gives you so many ideas. That seems to work. Right, let's get that one stuck in. So this one needs to line up with the one underneath. Okay, so you go. Make sure it's straight. That one then comes up. That lines up with the one underneath. Isn't it funny how sometimes a card looks so complicated and so hard to create? People think, oh, I can't do that. And then when you actually get to do it, it's quite simple. And then when you look at a card and you think, oh, that's going to be quite easy to do, you forget how fiddly it can be. But I think the end result is definitely worth it. So if you've got any sort of designer series paper stashed away that you like, and you've got it stashed away because it is so pretty, then I have to say this is definitely a design worth thinking about. Any of you have or do partake in, move over here, doing this, please put your photographs in the comments below. I would absolutely love to see them. If you have any comments about what we've done today or the rest of the week, then again, please put them at the bottom of the video. I do regularly check on them. It may not be instantly done, but I will respond. Okay, so there's those ones, and now we can add our happy birthday, and we're going to use the dimensionals. So let's bring those in. There we are. And then I'll just put one in each corner as normal, and one in the middle. There you go. I shall use my pointy tool to remove the backings. Oops, I'll move along here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's bring this down. And I can work out roughly, whoops, where I want it to go. As long as it's straight, it always helps. Right, so the only other thing we need to do now is add our inside layer, which I will attach with my stamp and seal. So I've used all the glues today. Well, almost all of the glues. There we go. So that is today's card. Let's move that so you can actually see it. Bring it down a bit. There we go. So there's that version. So what do we prefer? Do we prefer the squares, then the sentiment and the two lines, or do we prefer all three and the line? Interesting. And then of course we've got this one and this one. So thank you very much for joining me today. As I say, this is the last in this week's stamp set of the week, so I hope you've enjoyed it. We come back on Monday with a new feature, so do join me then. I'd love to have you join me. Let me know what you think, and I will see you then. Otherwise, whatever you do for the rest of the weekend, oh my goodness, it's the weekend already, can you believe it? Have a lovely time, take care everybody, and lots of love. Bye.